gonna redo the braids. I have this Yves Rocher rich cream ocean. I really need to turn on the heater eventually, but I'm still refusing to do it because I'm like, I don't want to acclimate myself to the heat. And I was gonna bake something. I had all these things I planned to do, but I'm like, I just did not do all the things I wanted yesterday. Like, I really want to go back to my painting, but I also want to make like a tofu stir fry thing. And I also want to finish that edited video. And I don't know, I'm just not getting my productivity up like I want. And I feel like it's because of the cold, because I just don't like cold weather. So I guess eventually I'm going to just have to turn on the heater. But I always used to do this. But I think it helped because I was wearing a beanie. And I was just like, I've done this for years where I just don't want to turn on the heater. And so I feel like there's two events that have changed like how people think about life. Okay, so for those of us who came of age like pre 9/11, I think that was one event that kind of just changed life. Like things were honestly though, I was so young back then that I can't really relate to that now, but there was a difference between like pre 9/11 life and after 9/11. Although I feel like things have kind of calmed down since that event. And then the next big event was almost 20 years later, and that was like the pandemic. And I feel like these two events have just like changed how people think about things and think about life. And yesterday I was kind of talking about how there's this thing that everybody needs to be like really social again because it's the holidays, or because I don't know, like COVID's over, even though a lot of people are sick. And a lot of people are getting sick, and I haven't got COVID yet. I've been very lucky. I've been exposed to people who had COVID, but also there's SSRV and other things, and I just don't want to get it. I try to be prudent, but I don't want to worry about it too much either, and that's not why I'm not going out and doing lots of things. I just don't feel so inclined. So I wish I could like talk more about these things like in a more open, like, because I would love to have open discussions, but I'm just like, I choose not to, just because I thought, well, man, there's really no point in like explaining exactly why I feel these ways. Like, this is what I will say. This is what I will say about it. I just don't think, as an introverted person, there's any need to push socialization unless it's like, I would like to go see my sister, but I just don't want to date people where it doesn't resonate with me, okay? I guess I will be kind of legitimate and honest about it. Is like sometimes you'll meet somebody and they're nice, but I'm not one of these like extroverted people that wants to say like why I don't want to get together with them again. And I know they say like that ghosting is like mean and cruel and you shouldn't ghost people. Well, you know what? Everybody is ghosted, and like, okay, so I just don't feel comfortable like having that discussion with someone about why I don't really like want to get together with them again, and that's it. That's what a lot of this is about. And then I feel like I'm hiding or something for the last 2 days. I'm not hiding, but that was why I got all panicky about the misdelivery of the charcuterie box, because I thought it was from this person and it wasn't. Anyhow, that's all I want to say about that. But even so, like, even when I went out with this person, I just don't really feel like I want to date period anymore. Like, it's just not something that's really like important to me. It's not really super important to me. Like, if it happens, like if I meet somebody in real life where I day-to-day life and it feels natural, yes. But I'm not one of these people who just loves going out and meeting more and more people. And just sometimes you realize halfway through meeting someone that you really shouldn't be out with them, and you're just like, yeah, this isn't right. And then I don't know, if you tell other people about it, they'll be like, oh, but they seem so nice, they're such a nice person. Oh, like, and then it makes you feel like, oh, you're a bad person because you don't want to go out with this person. But that's not the case. I just didn't want to, and I don't have to. And I think it would be, and in a society that pretends like the extroverted people pretend like they're so like upfront and honest about everything, they're not really, because like they also like say things in a way to like be socially graceful. They're not always as upfront about things as they claim to be. I think just opting to be more introverted is better. And I just feel like sometimes, like, you know what? I don't like, look, if you had known someone for a while and you've been dating them for a while, like, yeah, I could see like having a talk with them. But if it was just like the first time you ever really went out with someone, I don't feel like you owe them an explanation. And if they keep like contacting you and offering like to do other things that you really aren't interested in doing, I just don't feel like it makes you a bad guy by not getting back to them. I don't. Like before I was always like, well, I don't care. Like if I just feel like right now in my life, like I like really just being alone and doing things on my own. And like that's really brings me happiness. And I see a lot of people in society, they want this, and this, but I just want my own stuff. Like I want to work on my own things, and I really want to create, and just do little videos for fun. Like that's what I enjoy doing the most. I don't need this super status or like definition of like what things are supposed to be. You know, I just don't need that in my life. And I like to talk to people, but I also feel like I have better boundaries than I did in the past. And I think in the past my boundaries weren't good enough. Like I think I just always thought, oh, you need to be nice to people, you need to do this. And you know, there's a lot of that be nice, like being a nice guy and girl, like just being polite, things that are even promoted by etiquette that really are not healthy boundaries for yourself, okay? That might invite in a lot of people that, you know, you just, and then not only that, it might not even be people that are bad people. They're not bad people. You just don't have an interest in it, you know? You're just not interested in people and like their domestic issues and things like that. I don't really want to get involved with anybody's business. I just like to stay in my own lane these days. That's how I feel. I'm like, the more I stay in my own lane, the better. I just like focusing on myself, and then I want to read about. Like I've been looking at GED Match, and I've been looking at different websites and just reading about history, and that's what I want to hear about. I don't even care about like the latest U.S. news, and I just feel like that's hyped up too. Like everybody gets hyped up, very hyped up about things. But yeah, I just don't want to be hyped up. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Maybe not to people that enjoy being hyped up about most things. I don't know. It's not gonna make sense to everybody. I think I put too much olive oil in my hair yesterday, but I'm gonna wash it today sometime. Just not as early as I had planned to, you know? This is another reason too, like I think being more vague about everything is just healthier for yourself. Even if you just tell like a close family member, close friend, sometimes they have a different impression of something than you do. You know, they think something different about something than you would. So for me, I think sometimes it's better to just be more guarded about what you think about something, no matter the situation. Like not to be very specific about things because honestly, you're the only one living that scenario. You're the only one living that situation. And if it just seems like any situation, like anything, like go with your intuition. And that's what I mean by go with your intuition, because your intuition will always guide you in the right direction, in my opinion, you know? It just will. Your intuition is there for a reason. And I feel like I was saying before, I think our society encourages us to act and be a certain way. It seems like polite or kind, but you don't always have to do those things. And to me, sometimes it's just more polite to remain silent, to be a bit more aloof, because that just gives you space to be away from like social situations. Like I don't feel any desire. Like I know people are like, oh, the holidays are stressful. I have to buy all these gifts and go to all these parties. actually you don't. Who says that you have to do all that? Like, there is this concept, like somebody says it's the circle of seven. I don't even think it has to be seven people. But if you are this person, you're like, I need to send out all these cards and I need to do all these social things. 2 years ago, everybody was saying stay home because of COVID. But now you need to do all those things again. It just seems like there's this frenzy to buy things, to overly socialize, to like do this, that, and the other thing. And you don't have to do any of those things. Like if you're getting stressed out by the holiday, just stop for a second and say, you know what? Is everybody going to like perish if I don't go to that party? No, they're not. They will still be alive and you'll be okay. You don't need to go to every Christmas party. Actually, it might not be a good idea, like with SSRV and whatever and all the things going on. Like, I'm not saying don't ever go out and do things, but I don't know, social gatherings, like, but I'm the introvert, so I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. Go for a walk. Like, you could maybe just have a couple friends that you do things with socially. I think if you, like, make your social circle tinier, sometimes that'll make you happier, and then you select people that have similarities to you, and, like they're not exactly like you, but they match your, like, interests, and they seem like genuine towards you, and you feel comfortable talking to them, you know, like you just cull down your social circle. And I think that is the key to being a happier person. There is no, like, it's not like, oh, you're going to get a prize because you gave out more Christmas gifts. Like 100 years from now, nobody's going to care about that. So all this frenzy that people create for themselves during the holidays, I've never really, like, I just never felt that because I never really partook in that. Like, and then there would be the other, I haven't seen this as much since COVID, like this kind of diminished a bit, but pre-COVID, people used to kind of get shamed if they weren't like having enough holiday spirit. But then I think like, okay, January 1st, where'd that holiday spirit go? It's like just during this 1 month. And then some people say, oh, but Christmas is a religious holiday, but it's really not. I mean, maybe for some observant Christians it is, but I say nowadays it's more of a secular, commercialized holiday, more of a festivity, more of like an end of the year celebration, which has like roots in pagan religions in Europe anyhow. So I don't know why like people insist that it's a very Christian holiday, because if you look at the way people celebrate, like I still say Merry Christmas, but the way people celebrate Christmas these days, it's much different. And this didn't start, by the way, like until like the way people celebrate Christmas is actually a newer phenomenon. Like it used to be a very solemn religious day, like where some cultures, like in Europe, would have like the Yule log and they'll have a big celebration dinner. But the whole concept of the Christmas tree and all of this, like, it came more out of like German traditions. It's a little bit newer. It's not like this long tradition. Santa Claus, the concept of Santa Claus came from like a Turkish Christian person in Anatolia. Like, it's a hodgepodge of things that have coalesced to be the modern holiday that it is. So when people say it's just a commercial holiday, that's not exactly true. And when people say it's just a religious holiday, that's not exactly true. It's like a conglomeration of things, and people celebrate Christmas in Japan and Iran, and actually a lot of Iranian people do celebrate Christmas, and they're not all Christians, even though there's a Christian population in Iran. Same with Japan, there's only a few Christians. Like, there are places where people celebrate Christmas, and yeah, maybe it's slightly commercialized, but so is every other holiday. Like, that used to be a thing too. People used to be like, oh, this holiday is so commercialized, it needs to go back to its roots. But what exactly is it? Nothing remains static. People act like this thing is static. It can't change, but it has changed. The way people celebrate Christmas in 1988 looks far different than the way they celebrate it today. Like now, like, I don't know, people make reels about Christmas. They make Vlogmas. And yeah, I indulged in a little bit of Vlogmas, but for me, like on my other channel, I don't know. I made a few videos and they never got that much traction. But I think for other people, they really get into it, like the holidays, like, because it's the time when people buy a lot of things. And yes, I can see why that's stressful to some people. Like, oh my God, I need to buy lots and lots of stuff, but you don't have to buy anybody lots and lots of stuff, even your children or even your significant other. Surprise, surprise. You could buy them a small gift and that would be okay. It's just society that makes us think that we need to go into debt over Christmas. Like, why? Why do we need to do that? Well, the commercial, that is where the holiday is pretty commercial, but they do this with other holidays too. Just like, oh, you need to take your mother out for Mother's Day, and they happen to mark up like lunches on that date or Valentine's Day. Silly, silly, silly. Everybody just needs to calm down a notch. Like, it doesn't have to be like this ramped up, amped up thing. Like, I think that's another reason too. Like, honestly, like, I don't know. I don't feel like I notice around the holidays people get kind of weird. They get kind of odd, and like it brings out certain behaviors and tendencies in people, like wanting to socialize more. I don't know. I don't even care. I think like extroverted people, they love that socialization, and they like the frenetic energy that comes with like, oh my god, like I didn't buy enough gifts or elaborate enough gifts, or oh no, the porch pirate came again. Like they really like, they're very much into that. But if you don't care about those things as much, I guess it doesn't affect you, you know? It's hard to say. It's just hard to say. I could talk about this all day. But it's not really like it's even that big of a deal. Like I say, in 50 years from now, nobody cares what you bought anybody for Christmas. They don't. Like, look at it like, but 50 years from now, would you like to know that you spent your day in a way that was less stressful? Maybe it's just better to be less stressed, in my opinion, than to seek out stressful scenarios and to stress yourself out over things that aren't real and things that aren't like needed to be stressed out about, you know? I just kind of wonder about that. It all kind of do what I wanted. Ooh, it did. I like it. Really? Yeah. Okay. That's kind of cool. So I guess I kind of do hair oiling, and I kind of do put oil in my hair, but I don't do it like I don't do it the way that they always say you need to do it this way or that way. I just put it here and there where I feel like I need it. And I just felt like, well, I felt like there was a little bit of dryness in my scalp right there, so I just put some olive oil there last night. And today I just feel like, yeah, my hair looks a little oily in places, but I actually don't mind it. Like I don't mind the look of oil in my hair; it doesn't bother me because it really doesn't weigh down my hair. Like, look, when I start brushing my hair and then I start putting water in my hair, it's not gonna be the end of the world for my hair. And then I can wash my hair and it's all good, you know? Because I'm gonna use a sulfate shampoo when I wash my hair anyway. And I've been doing double cleansing. I've really gotten into double cleansing because I always used to be like, why does it say rinse, wash, and repeat? Like, I always thought that was such a silly recommendation. I'm like, well, why? But now I get it because, okay. And it kind of made sense after I watched this video by Maidens by Mel that I really do get it. And it actually is beneficial if you are using like a lower sulfate or no sulfate shampoo. Because the first shampoo is to just kind of get all the buildup off your scalp and then rinse that out. And then the second one is kind of like more clarifying because even if you're using a lower sulfate shampoo, once you've done one round of shampoo, the second round is going to suds up more even if you use less shampoo. Because I'll be honest, I do use a good amount of shampoo. Like I used to be so like less shampoo, more conditioner. I used to be like, well, it's still more conditioner than shampoo because honestly, okay, I bought these buddies around the same time, and this one definitely has more gone than this one. But I have been using a little bit more shampoo lately, and I'm just finding like, okay, I would like to use. I guess I'll try Alethea again, but I've been okay, like just going back to these store brands, and I know a lot of people are like, but VO5 is not good for your hair. But I remembered how I had a lot of mega hair growth using VO5, and a lot of people in the curly hair community say they really love this one, and I kind of like it too. And it's really basic. It's a basic shampoo. And it made my scalp feel good. It didn't make my scalp irritated because I kind of have to get conditioner close to my scalp. I do. And if I do that, I want a conditioner that's not going to irritate my scalp, and this one didn't. And this one's it's okay. I don't know if it's my favorite clarifying shampoo, but it gets the job done. And I saw where did I see this one? Oh yeah, I saw Audrey Victoria recommended that she use this one, and I thought, well, I only wash my hair once a week, and I do double cleanse. So for me, yeah, this is a more stripping shampoo. But let me show you why in a minute. I have this other shampoo I bought that I thought, oh, this is gonna be so much fun. I'll get those later. I fell down. I flipped up. Okay, so it's a little wet. Okay, so I have this other one, Not Your Mother's, and I thought, oh, I'm really gonna love these. They're gonna be so good for my hair. My hair is really gonna love it. But they kind of irritated my scalp a little, and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll try them again, but I wasn't a super fan of it. And I definitely used more of the conditioner than the shampoo. I mean, I might try it again. Maybe I'll try it. What I'm thinking is I could do the first wash with the swab, and then maybe the second one with this one. I kind of mix and match them sometimes, and then with conditioner, I just kind of layer it up. Because with conditioner, I have to put it a lot on my hair. Like I'll double cleanse, and I know some people are like, but you're like washing all the oils out of your hair, and I'm like, well, I'm trying to get rid of the buildup in my hair. But then after that, I do want a barrier, like something that'll make it easier to detangle my hair. So yeah, I do need a lot of conditioner. So I just feel like in the future, I'm not gonna buy pricey conditioners because, well, I'm just throwing my money down the drain, really. Unless I might buy a Leafia again. I don't know. I liked that one a lot. That one always had really good results in my hair. And this was my thought too. Like somebody was saying, but look at all those Russian women with the super long hair on social media, Ukrainian women, a lot of Slavic women, Lithuanian women. They have super long hair. And then they talk about the shampoo that they use and the conditioner that they use, and it's just drugstore stuff. And then I'm like, well, I kind of want to try and use Aleafia more, but I don't know. Like, I'm okay. And then I'll tell you, I did use I thought I was gonna love the John Frieda shampoos. Back in the day, I never had a problem with them. I used to use them all the time. They never irritated my scalp. But I don't know. I guess my scalp just got more sensitive now, and I'm like, it's hard to say what's gonna make my scalp feel good or not. But I just feel like Suave has been pretty good. I still have some of the Pantene too. I have a lot of shampoo and conditioner. But you know what I do? If I don't use a shampoo and I decide I don't really like it for my hair anymore, I turn it into a body wash. And shampoo makes great body wash. It really does. I highly recommend it for that. I even have like real body wash in my tubby tub. See? Well, he's in there somewhere. Where did I put him? I saw him. Hopefully he didn't go in. Oh, here he is. It's always funny trying to find out where everything is. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. The very next day, you took it. Like, that's a George Michael song, and it's off key. I'm singing it. But hey, it's not even my favorite George Michael song. It's pretty campy, man. That video that goes with it is super campy, man. I'm like, that girl was not your love. Like, you know what? Oh my god, that video. Well, the way the video is filmed, it looks like, oh, it looks like you're just spiritually jammed because the girl that you wanted to be with is with another dude, and then you're with another girl, but yet you're jealous. It's a weird video, but it's very 80s. I'm just like, it's just so 80s. Like, if you want to see true 80s campy, cheesy Christmas video, watch that. George Michael was a great singer, though. He really was, although he had a very troubled life, and it's kind of sad. He died very young. like I'm going to change my socks again because I got the floral wet from the shampoo show. Okay, so that's the honest truth about like when I first started a hair channel and years ago I had long hair, my hair was super long, like longer than it is now, but I was mostly using VO5 shampoo. I was. I mean, and I was using the Yves Rocher oil, but I wasn't blow drying my hair and I wore it in a braid a lot. So I don't know, when I just think about like all the things that I did, like, so I've said this all along, like, yeah, like if you want to buy, like, I do feel like sometimes, oh, I should try and buy better, better, better brands of shampoo. Like, I do like want to do that again soon, but I have so much shampoo right now that I need to use up that I just can't justify buying anything else right now. But yeah, if you want to buy better shampoo, I guess it could be better for your hair, for sure. But I just always go off of, well, look at a lot of people with super long hair and they're not using real fancy salon shampoos. So, and I'm not exactly curly hair, but I'm wavy hair. And a lot of people in the curly hair community say that VO5 shampoo is a great budget conditioner, that one. And I really like that. I don't mind the shampoo either. Although if you don't like fragrance, yeah, it's not gonna be good for your hair. But if fragrance doesn't really bother you, I don't know. There's just certain things I always used and that worked for me, and that's what I bought. Maybe because it was a little budgety. And honestly, like, yeah, beyond the VO5 conditioner, but I also did henna in my hair. And I do think henna is good. I just think more in a simple kind of way of applying it. Like, don't ever mix it with conditioner. That's not good. And I think another problem is too, if you want to dye your hair a lot of colors, if you want to have like vibrant, different colors of hair, then henna's definitely not for you. Because I know a lot of people say, well, you can do henna and then you can do dye over it. But I think that's very damaging to your hair. Like, that's going to be worse, okay? So if you decide that you want to do henna, I don't want to like gatekeep henna. I'm not trying to gatekeep henna. Anybody can put henna on their hair that wants. Like, honestly, they can. It's a plant. It's whoever wants to put henna on their hair, they can. I'm not talking about like the intricate designs that are from certain cultures. If you're not from that culture, then don't do that. Like henna freckles, I wouldn't do that either. That's kind of questionable. They just look kind of strange, okay? But henna on your hair, like people used to do that in all continents. Because yes, it originated from like the Middle East and India, but it was exported throughout the world. And guess what? In the 1600s, a lot of people had black hair, and that was very popular because they did the two-step henna and indigo to achieve that. Because not all Europeans have black hair. Maybe some do, but not all. Did you know that? Fun fact. So, like, people have been dyeing their hair with henna and indigo for centuries, but the natural stuff. They didn't mix it with like PPD and all these other ingredients. And so I'm not trying to gatekeep henna, but I will say this about henna. If you have had a history of liking to color your hair and liking to change the color of your hair a lot, and it's something that like is fun for you and like you have a lot of self-expression through changing your hair color, I would say henna actually would be more, in that case, henna would definitely be more damaging to your hair than if you just stayed with like using different hair dyes. Because in that case, actually, from what I've read and what I've heard from like some videos by Brad Mondo, the semi-permanent hair dye, that's a lot less damaging. But like when you start bleaching your hair, that does get damaging. And then when people do henna on their hair and they bleach it, what a disaster. Like, I know some people are like, but I can do it and my hair's fine, but it's very dangerous and very stripping to your hair. And I just don't think that's very good for you, like to put bleach on your head. Like, people are like, oh my God, why do people bleach their skin? But you're doing the same thing to your head and your hair. Like, I don't think that's healthy. So do you? Like, if many vibrant colors of hair are your thing and you love to express yourself through lots of hair colors, I'm not gatekeeping that. But I do say henna is not really for you because yes, it can sometimes react with chemical hair dyes. I know some henna experts say it doesn't react, and like certain types of hennas are like more beneficial than others. But henna is a plant, and even if it's grown in a different region, it still has certain chemical interactions with chemical hair dye. So yeah, I would say if you like to do a lot of different colors in your hair, don't go for henna. Like go for like a semi-permanent hair dye. Personally, I think I'm allergic to those things because I did have my hair with semi-permanent hair dye and even a permanent hair dye on a couple occasions, and I got sick or I felt sick afterwards, and I hated the smell of it, and it would sometimes make me throw up or just feel very ill a few times I did it. And I don't like the smell in salons, like the hair dye and all that stuff. Like I feel very ill. Or just even if people do like a box dye, I can't stand the smell. Like I know some people are like, oh my god, henna smells like so earthy, and it is very earthy. But I would take that smell over the salon smell any day of the week. Just like I was talking about, like I can't stand. Gosh, I'm just being a chatty cat doll. I'll get I will get to braiding my hair soon. So anyway, yeah, like if you like to dye your hair a lot of colors, I would say henna is not probably a good solution or a good alternative because it could cause more damage to your hair over time. And I would also say do not mix it with conditioner. I think there is a way to do henna, but you have to be very like balanced with it. Like I did henna just in November, and I thought about doing it again recently. But the two things that keep me from doing it more often are I don't want to dry my hair out too much because I feel like you have to be very balanced with henna, and also it's a mess. And so is like commercial hair dye, but everybody wants to fast. I think they don't want to wait. Like, and next time if I do henna, I do want to wait like 3 or 4 hours with it on. I only kept it on my hair for an hour, although it gave me a pretty red result. I just think, like, it didn't give me the red highlights I just wanted, but I think like 3 or 4 hours give you a slightly better result. Not overnight though. I would never do overnight henna. That's overkill. Like you do not have to have henna on your hair all night. Nobody has to have that. But I would say 3 or 4 hours, and that is more time than most people want to spend. Like nobody wants to spend 3 or 4 hours with it on their hair and then rinsing their hair out afterwards. People just do not want that time allotment to henna. It's not something people want to do, and it's a mess. Okay, it's a big giant mess. And I love to do laundry. If you don't love to do laundry, then henna home application might not be for you. I don't like the way that this separation looks like. It doesn't look as straight as I like. It's not good. See, I still don't have the separation that I want. I want the separation that I want. So anyhow, yeah. So you just have to be very pragmatic when you decide to do henna on your hair. You have to decide like, is this what I want? Like, is this gonna be good for my hair? Like, blah 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 blah. You have to really think through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of contemplate it a bit. So I do want to do henna again. I just want to be pragmatic on how I do henna. It is a day long thing, and it has to be a day where you just dedicate yourself to henna and you're not going anywhere, you're not doing anything except for cleaning your house and doing a henna application. So henna is definitely not for people like that like to be more hectic and busy and rush about because that's just not how henna works. And then I think later people are mad because henna takes a long time and henna is intense and you have to clean it a lot. Yeah, henna is all those things. It definitely is, but it's a natural hair treatment. It's kind of like making a nice home cooked meal versus just going to get a microwave meal or a fast food. Like I just even think like I actually kind of laugh at the whole fast like wanting to even go to like any of the sit down places because a lot of it's just microwave marked up food. Like, did I talk about this before? But we were at Smart and Final once, and we were finding all these things that they have at claim jumpers. Like, they're basically the things they serve at claim jumpers. Like, it's the same enchilada thingy. You know what you call me? My vision is so good today. We need to get a hearing glasses. Take my socks and put a towel on the floor because that water from the shampoo got all over the floor. Oh my, see. No, 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 no. None of this. None of this is what I want. Okay. I don't know. That's not what I want either. I'm not going to be happy for a while. It's going to take me a bit to get what I want. No, my goodness, so tingling in the hair right now. Maybe you will look at this. Part of it aside now. After I do this, I'm gonna give my brushes a nice bath. I'm gonna soak them in some hot soapy water because I do want to wash my hair today. And that's another thing I've been doing is I've been washing my brushes in the hot soapy water just to. I mean, I never used to do. Well, I always cleaned out my brushes though. I mean, I always did clean out my brushes. Where'd my little scratchy go? Last Christmas, you gave me my heart. The very next day, you took it away. Those are the only words I know that song. But you want to see a cheesy 80s Christmas video? Go watch it. It's hilarious. So campy, so cheesy. Kind of funny, actually. I would love to see them do like a redo of that, like TikTok style or something. Actually, I mean, I do post a little things to TikTok, and I don't do like the controversial side of TikTok. But the one thing I do like about TikTok is it does have like, okay, it's tracking you. I know. Oh no, it tracks you. Well, so does Google, and so does YouTube. But it does recommend a lot of content to me. Is that stuff I'm looking for? It's very interesting. Like how some of the stuff I'm like is no. I'm like no, I don't like that. But if you start liking more things, it seems to get a grasp on like what you do like. Like I was, and I just think it's interesting. Like I've seen some '80s music like come back into popularity, like certain songs because of TikTok. It's been very interesting. They're not always my favorite songs, but hey, if an old song gets new traction, or maybe an adaptation, or inspires somebody to create something new, that's kind of cool, you know. A lot of people do listen to like '80s and '70s music to relax. It's just very relaxing. Like no kind of music has a monopoly on relaxation. That's what I've learned. Like some people, they like certain kinds of music, so they think this particular music has the monopoly on what is relaxing. But that's actually mythology. Did you know that? It's mythology because, like, if you look at what people listen to and what they like, it's going to be a lot of things. Maybe some people like to listen to classical music, but the next day they might want to listen to a power ballad. And actually, it's kind of like, I think, you just don't like power ballads, okay? Let's be honest. You don't like power ballads, but they're very beautiful. They're like, yeah, they have like a little bit of rock to them. But a lot of people that were rock musicians started out studying music in school. And they were church choirs or they played a classical instrument. So it's not even true that these people don't have like some expertise. It's just silly. So whatever kind of music you think is relaxing, that is relaxing music. It's just nobody has a monopoly on what is relaxing. I think people have different musical preferences and they don't think that is relaxing, but that has been the conclusion that I have. Just because some people want sort of like to me sometimes if something's too just subdued after a while, it starts to sound like elevator music. and kind of like uh, grocery store music, like the modern equivalent of that. But you know what's actually kind of fun? I noticed, like in the mall, like they would play 80s songs, and there were a lot of 80s pop songs that were just fun, and they could be deep, and they could be a lot of things, and they can be relaxing too. I don't think anybody has a monopoly on what kind of music is relaxing. I just don't. That's just my opinion because it's more about what your preference is, not what you think is like what everybody else thinks. Like, and I know that for a fact because there's a lot of people that love like 80s music and like they talk about it. We have like this nostalgic thing, and I think just growing up as a young kid in that time period in the early 90s, like there were some 90s songs I like too, but 80s music, that was just when I was very little, and I have fond memories of it. It's just good stuff, you know? Very good music. And I like Phil Collins. I think he's super underrated, but I don't know, like lately I've been on listening to Phil Collins, and then I look for similar things that might have like a mixture of rock and classical because I think if we only want like a certain thing, then we're stagnant, and I like a mixture of genres. So I'm kind of like some of like I love the soundtrack to Magnificent Century, which has elements of rock, classical, and like Mediterranean, Anatolian. It's made. Oh wow! Like I love. Like I would probably get a copyright strike if I played part of the song that I really like. But there's this one. I don't really care. I have to play it. Okay. So it's just a soundtrack I found on YouTube. It's so good. Like I can cut it out later if they get mad at me. I don't really care. It's so good though. I just have to play it. Like this is. I just. Oh my gosh, it's such a good song. No, I can't play it because I'll probably get a copyright strike. So, well, just look it up. You can look it up. Okay. Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. I don't know what that was, but I don't know. So hair can get fluffy after. Well, my hair type can get kind of fluffy after I put oil in it because I also adding water back in, and I think yeah, I shampoo my hair now. Like I did a video. I kind of look back on some of my old videos, and there was one where I stopped shampooing my hair. Okay, so I had done this a few years previously, like in the early, I think 2005. I was playing around with it for a while, but then I went back to shampooing my hair, where I was just playing around with like just doing a conditioner wash, like a co-wash, and then I did that again for a while in like the last part, like around 20 September 2020. I was still using a little bit of shampoo, but I was using like a really low sulfate shampoo. It didn't have much sulfate at all. No, I'm gonna have to add that piece in. I still have to do something. And then, so after that, I was using that low sulfate shampoo, and it was just too low sulfate. I was barely using it, and then I went to co-washing, and I was just doing a conditioner wash. Then I started using some shampoo again, but I was going too long of stretches without washing my hair. Like, yes, my hair was upper calf length, but I was like going up to a month, and I would rinse out my hair. But I just decided that was way too long, and I had never gone that long before. And I was just kind of getting on this like kick, like, oh, I can do that, I can do that. And I think over time, that just created like some problems, honestly, because I kept doing that. Like I kept doing that. Like I was up to like a month. Like I would rinse out my scalp in the shower, like daily. Like I always let water hit my scalp, and I have a pretty powerful shower head, so I always kind of got water in my scalp and parts of my hair, but I wasn't like really cleansing my scalp. And I think you do need to cleanse your scalp to get rid of buildup. I'm sorry, like after I realized that I got some weird buildup, some just weird things happening like in February of 2022, like I'm like, yeah, you need to use shampoo. So it took me a while to get to a place where I was like happy again with like, but then I did realize that once a week is really good for me, like a once a week wash schedule, like that just really seems to be where I am at with hair washing, you know? That seems to be my preference. Everybody has their own like preference, and I was doing a little bit more washing before that, but it was just too much. It was a little too excessive for me because I felt like it was drying my hair out too much, and I don't want to dry out my hair that much. Like, I don't want to excessively dry out my hair, you know, when I wash it. So I need to make sure that any long pieces, no pieces left behind. So I did decide, like, you know what, I need to wash my hair a little bit more often. I don't pull my hair. But people are always like, do double braids, do double braids. So I'm doing double braids. I like them. I did them for a while, but I think they're not good to sleep in, and then you have to redo them at night or something. So I just have to make more time for my hair, so to speak, like I used to. This is the thing about having like a slight U-line haircut, like because it does have a U to it, a UE. Like there's parts of the hair that I would love to be incorporated into the braid. Well, I feel like this one I kind of want to do because there's a lot of parts of the hair I would kind of like to be in the braid more than just sticking out of the braid, you know? Because it's not exactly layers, but in a way it's kind of like having layers because yeah, you have a lot of blunt ends that are ending at a certain point, and that's why I kind of almost love the three braids in a braid. The three braids in a braid is a lot of it's a lot of braiding, but yeah, if I was just staying at home for several days and starting to do more hair videos, I think I might start doing three braids in a braid more again, just because yeah, I love the way that looks. I really do. And after this, I might do a live stream where I make fried rice on it. So I need to do something with that rice. I think I'm gonna scrape the rice off the bottom before I start though. That pan, because some of it was kind of sticking to the bottom when I boiled the rice. And after I eat up this batch of rice, I kind of just want to not eat rice, and I'm trying to like. I haven't been eating as much the last couple days because I have indulged in my desserties a little bit too much with like the holidays and cookies just sitting there and oh wow for their time. No, 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 no! You need to stop. I'm just like, I mean, it just is a little too much. And I'm just like, I don't need that much of it. I don't think I can go around again. There we go. Yes. Nope, nope, nope. I need to get the back from here so I can peek at the back and see what it looks like. And then I'm going to take some pictures of it for the Instagram. Hey, I might make a YouTube reel out of it too because if I'm going to take the time to braid my hair, I'm going to get some content out of it. Why not? Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one. I think I just needed to like redo it from last night. This one makes me so much happier. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love this one. Other one I wasn't quite as happy with. But anyway, yeah, here's double braids. Double braids. Everybody loves the double braids. They're always like, "Put your hair in double braids," and I do like the way it looks. But right now with this length of hair, I think some people thought because of what I posted on Instagram that my hair. I mean, I wish my hair was really long again. I wish it was that long, but no. The double braids only come up to here, and because of the U haircut, there are like it's not like pronounced layers, but it's kind of layery. Although when your hair is super long and more one length, like it tapers towards the end, you just have more hair to work with. So I think that's one thing I've never really gotten used to with having shorter hair is you just don't have as much hair to work with. And then when your hair was super long, you could like kind of I never exactly pancaked, but you could kind of poof it out a little and do a lot of things with it. So yeah, I think having super long hair can be a lot of fun for braiding. Like I think the best braids are on hair that's waist length and longer because you just can do so much with it. I mean, not that this isn't fun. It's just there's things you can do with your hair when it's that long that are just mesmerizing. Like just beautifully mesmerizing in my opinion, in my view. And yeah, thanks for watching and have a great little day. Bye.